Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Drinking Wine at 9 with Mott's. Why? Because it's 9 o'clock and we be drinking. I'm here today with my good friend Rachel Kreider. She works for the Summit Mountain Gallo Division, and today we are celebrating the end of Dry January.
Yes!
It's been a month. So today Rachel has brought these beautiful, beautiful wines that Michelle has already put on sale to celebrate the month of February. So Rachel, welcome back to the table.
Thank you for having me.
And let's dive in.
I'm in. All right. So wanted to start off, with one of our favorites. It's the 50th anniversary product of La Marca, the Luminor. So the main difference is that it goes from a DOC to a DOCG, which is
the Conegliano Valdobbiadene.
That's why I didn't say it, because I would not have done it as well. The main difference beyond that, it's just a more prestigious. It's a Prosecco Superiore. It's going to have a lot more of those deeper flavors. It spends more time aging, more time in lees, and has a little bit more body. So let's see how it's tasting today.
It's gorgeous. This is their high end of the La Marca line, and it's not really that much more expensive.
No.
It's just more elegant. It has more finesse. You still get hints of lime zest and kiwi and brioche and hazelnuts, and it's just so worth the price. It's still 100% Glera, the grape, and gorgeous. I have to have another sip while Rachel says a little bit more.
Yeah. So kind of my personal start to February's goal was to treat myself a little bit. So I wanted to think of wines that would pair with things that I love that are a little bit more indulgent, because coming out of January, we all try to restrict. So I want to kind of move back into the funness of food and wine combinations. So for me, lobster, this is perfect.
Yes.
It's a beautiful balance of it. It's not, neither is going to overwhelm the other.
Right.
Especially like a lobster thermidor, I think would be excellent with this. Especially
Shrimp cocktails.
Oh, yes.
Oysters. Something that just screams February, Valentine's Day. Something, like Rachel said, that is indulgent. And that's not a bad thing, because it's 2025 and we need a little bit of levity. We need a little bit of something so special, and that's one of the reasons we're doing these wines, because you deserve it. You deserve it.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Let's go on to wine number 1, the Rombauer. We love Rombauer.
Yeah. So Rombauer, it's pulling from Napa and Sonoma. As far as it's going to be 100% Sauvignon Blanc. Let's see, Kerner and Jones started the winery in 1980. Fun fact, his great aunt actually wrote the Joy of Cooking cookbook, which is, world renowned. So from a very young age, they've been very well versed in the combinations of food and wine and how they blend together in a harmonious fashion. Originally started making wine in a garage. When they bought the winery and they started producing in 1980, they wanted to keep things just really pure, but like elevated. So everything that they do, and people always think of Rombauer Chardonnay.
Right.
And they have a full line and everything is awesome. And
It
really
really
just, a step above what you expect. So the Sauvignon Blanc being a prime example of that.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I did a commercial last year with the winemaker, Richie Allen, and the wines just sang. And right now we're revisiting the Sauv Blanc and the Zinfandel, because everybody is very familiar with the Chardonnay and its memes and monikers. So Rachel decided to bring this to the table, and it's just elegant. It has so much finesse.
It's like springtime in a glass.
Right.
Like it just smells like it. It makes me think of the warmer weather that we're about to start having. And just like,
yeah, I mean, you get lemon verbena, you get kiwi, you get a hint of pomelo, but it's not your New Zealand Sauv Blanc.
No. It's definitely not overly grassy or just
Grapefruity.
sometimes, definitely is missing a lot of that gooseberry grapefruit dynamic to it. And sometimes they even smell a little gasoline-y, but this has none of that.
Right. I love tomato vines, but not today. And that's a beautiful thing. It really is, because this is so versatile and it's so nicely balanced. You could pair this with a skirt steak, a flank steak, chicken tetrazzini, anything, or just have it on its own, because it really has that body and that potential to just sing in your glass.
Absolutely. And for me, like I think of lighter style pastas
Okay.
with this, a little bit of cheese, some seafood in there.
Sure, pasta primavera.
Yes.
For spring.
Yeah. A little bit of herb.
So gorgeous. Next one is Randall Graham. We love him. Homage to France. Go.
Yeah, so Language of Yes, as you said, Randall Graham, Josie Gallo, the person who started Maze Row Wines, another awesome part of the collection, they did Language of Yes as an homage to France. So they didn't want to step on their toes or copy them. They wanted to kind of see how those grape varietals would perform in Central Coast, California. So for this one, the Fruits Rouge, obviously, my pronunciation on that is probably terrible. This is going to be 72% Grenache and 26% Cinsault, and then 2% of the Tibro.
Yes.
And so that's just going to add a little kiss of body to the back end of it. It's a varietal typically only seen in Southern France and Provence. And the way it interacts with the soil and the climate of Central California, especially this vintage, they had a ton of moisture over the winter and a much cooler summer. So they actually extended when they pulled the grapes by about 3 months. So it's very much old school style because of when they pulled it. They usually have to pull it earlier because we've had warmer summers. So
It's beautiful. It's still a dry rosé, and officially rosé season at Argonaut starts April 1st. And this is definitely one of the better domestic rosés that we carry.
it's got that raspberry. I'm getting a touch of that tart cherry still, but it's subtle. It's like very nuanced in there. It's almost
Like a
got
choke cherry, a cran apple, a crab apple, a little hint of acidity, and I don't want to say bitterness because it's not. It just has tang. It has zest.
Yes. Makes it
And-
fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you could just drink this with pork chops. You could drink this with pasta. You could drink this with whatever you choose because there are no right or wrong answers when it comes to drinking wine.
I love that.
I've told people that. It's what you like.
Best pairing is who you're drinking it with.
Right. Oh, I like that. Okay, so that brings us to the last one. Back to the Rombauer.
Back to Rombauer. So we already spoke a little bit of how they got started. So let's talk a little bit about this wine in particular. It is not 100%. We're talking 92% Zinfandel with about 8% of Petit Syrah. And it spends about 15 months in American and French barrels. About 10% of them are new. So it's not going to give so much of that barrel influence. It's going to be a little bit softer. It's going to balance.
It is soft, but it's a big Zinfandel.
It's big.
It's something to reckon with, and this can stand up to any porterhouse, any chimichurri sauce, any filet with a blue cheese sauce. I'm getting hungry because it just delivers.
Big food, big flavors. It'll stand up to all of it. For me, I'm instantly craving like a sweet heat ribs.
Oh.
I know, the grill, I want that char to kind of balance it out and like the little bit of sweetness from the sauce.
I get a little smoke, a little hint of black cherry, black pepper, black walnut. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. You know, he does everything on such a high level, and it really reflects in the glass because he's a master of his craft, and these wines are no exception. They just present themselves beautifully. And for February, come on down to Argonaut because we have your needs. We can meet your needs. If you see myself or Rachel on the floor, stop us, talk to us about anything regarding any of these wines because we're here for you. So Rachel, cheers to
Cheers.
you.
Oh, you know what? Let's do the celebratory glass. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, because dry January is over. Let's look forward to February and these amazing wines. So thanks for joining me back at the table.
Thanks for having me.
And here's to happy February.